All right, welcome back. It's still MotherCare. Now I've got Dr. Clement Adobo in the house, and today, like I said, we'll be talking about hepatitis. We're going to break it down one step at a time so you really understand what it entails, how it affects you, and of course, how it can be managed. But remember, we're going to take it one step at a time. Doc, it's great to have you back on the show.
Thank you so much.
Okay, so let's talk about hepatitis because, well, a lot of us have heard about it. A lot of us have our nannies do the test for it, and we just know, okay, they say negative, and you're happy. But we don't even know what we're happy about or unhappy about when it's positive. So, what exactly is hepatitis?
Thank you. Hepatitis simply are viruses,
Okay.
and then they are classified into A, B, C, D,
Wow.
E,
Okay.
and G.
Wow.
But of relevance to obstetricians or to pregnancy, as the topic indicates, is maybe A and B.
Okay.
So we are going to dwell much on
Hepatitis
the
A
A and B. Then
Okay.
when it becomes relevant, we may make reference to the other types of hepatitis. Yeah.
Okay.
Now, the hepatitis is there are viruses that have affinity for the liver cells.
The liver cells.
Yes, it means that when you have someone says is hepatitis B positive, for instance, that the liver cells harbors that virus.
Okay.
So same thing goes with hepatitis A and all the hepatitis. They can affect or infect liver cells.
So it's liver cells.
It's liver cells.
Okay.
In hepatitis A, for instance, it's a global. First of all, let us establish the fact that hepatitis is a global problem.
Okay.
It does not have a specific place where it occurs. It occurs anywhere in the world. But however, some types are common in some areas compared to other areas.
All right.
Now, like the hepatitis A, like I said, one could get infected from the environment.
Oh,
What I mean is, you know, a dirty environment
Oh.
where sanitation is very poor infrastructures, and people living in that environment can actually have this hepatitis. It could also be from food that are contaminated
Okay.
or water that are contaminated.
Okay.
You know, in poor hygienic area, people go to the bush, excrete there,
Oh, yes.
you know, and those who have hepatitis excrete plenty of it in their stool or their feces.
Oh.
So usually it's fecal oral, meaning
Wow.
it can go through the mouth, from the stool. You plant vegetables, you have anything around, and this feces contaminates these
plants.
vegetables or water or food. Now someone gets it, not properly cooked, consume it, and that person is bound to have this virus.
Okay.
Now this virus goes to the liver cell and infect the liver cells, because they have to replicate or divide inside the liver cells. Now, let me give a general pathophysiology or how the liver becomes problematic. When the virus gets into the liver cells, now naturally the immune system of the body wants to react, but this is a foreign antigen, yes, that is there. So the immune system wants to react by synthesizing some chemicals. Now that sets up an inflammatory process.
Okay.
So, and once that inflammatory process are there, then you know inflammation is actually to protect the body from a foreign body. But this time it could be exaggerated and the liver becomes fibrotic.
What's that?
That is changing the architecture of the liver itself.
Okay.
So that is why they say, okay, the liver can become cirrhotic, like cirrhosis, or the liver changes such that it becomes a carcinoma, that is a cancer.
Wow.
So to say. So, and when that happens, then the person comes down with liver problem. So the liver, as you know it, is an organ that performs so many functions.
Functions in the body.
Now those functions will not be carried out.
Out.
So that person will be heading towards liver failure. And different organs at this time can be involved. Now, for instance, if this immune system that has been synthesized because there is a foreign body in the liver leaves the liver, it can be deposited on the kidney, on every other organ.
So it could affect
every other organ, just because of that cascade of immune system that has been set up. So it's actually a disease that is of global concern. But however, it's not as bad as it is being described.
Really,
yes.
it sounds really bad.
Yes, because sometimes people could carry this for a very long time.
They don't know.
And if the illness comes around and the person survives it, then the person may not ever have it, like in the case of hepatitis A.
Oh.
Now, and the good thing as it relates to a pregnant woman, which is actually our primary focus, is that the virus itself cannot be transmitted vertically. It cannot be given to the baby just like that.
Okay.
But however, the antibodies are simply chemicals that are formed to prevent or to fight infections. So whenever we have any kind of organism, pathogens in our body, the body forms antibodies. Now these antibodies will cross the barrier between the mother and the baby, which is the placenta, and go to the baby and form a protection for the baby
against the
hepatitis A. In the case of hepatitis A.
Okay.
Not so with B. So that baby will not have hepatitis after delivery.
Okay.
So you could say that is good, but that cannot be said of other types of hepatitis.
The B, what's the B like?
Good. Now the B is larger in terms of morphology than the A. And it is not also transmitted vertically.
Okay.
It cannot go through the placenta. It can be transmitted vertically actually, but it does not go through the placenta to the baby.
So how does it?
Now infection comes during delivery.
Oh.
So when the baby is delivered and care are not taken to take care of the baby, to protect the baby, then the baby could have hepatitis B. And you know the baby's liver is quite young. It's not strong enough to face that kind of viral infection. So, but there are ways out to reduce the risk to at least 20%. So what you do in situation of hepatitis B, and a woman that is positive for hepatitis B, is to vaccinate the baby within 24 hours with hepatitis B vaccine, which is readily available.
Okay.
But there's another thing we must also give, the antibodies itself, which is the immunoglobulin. That is quite expensive. It should be around between 65 and 75,000 naira.
Wow.
So the mother would have to make provision for that immunoglobulin to be given within 24 hours of delivery of that baby. So if we do that, that baby is likely not to have that hepatitis B. At least the risk is about 20%. So, and that is the good thing about it. When you know that a woman is positive.
But this can be found out during antenatal instances.
Yes, it's a standard that when a woman comes to register for antenatal, you screen the woman for so many other infections, including hepatitis B. Hepatitis B, because of what we have just explained now, and a very simple strip will test hepatitis B. Okay. You remember that pregnancy is not an emergency. So, yeah, it's not. So such a woman will be informed of this problem, and they have to shift towards getting this vaccine and immunoglobulin ready. The vaccine is readily available in government hospitals, so in primary health centers, but immunoglobulin, that provision has to be made by the parent of that baby. Now, how do we actually contract this hepatitis B? Basically, or majorly, is through unscreened blood, then sexual intercourse, and sometimes it will come from other fluids, like a wound exudates, that's fluid coming from the wound.
Really?
It could come from that. So if blood is not properly screened before it is given, then if it's infected, that person could likely have hepatitis. So same thing go with sexual intercourse from a mate that is
that has it. And you can pass it to your
the
partner.
wife. Yes.
Okay.
So a little of it could also be found in semen. Okay. So the reason why it could be possible that any of the partners that are infected could transfer to the other one.
Oh my goodness. Okay, well, we can't talk about everything today, but on the next edition of the program, we're definitely going to talk about management and still dwell a bit about hepatitis. Thank you so much. You know, you said it doesn't sound as bad. It sounds bad. It sounds very bad.
Yeah.
Okay, thank you so much, Dr. Clement. It's good, always good having you on the show. And definitely you're coming in the next edition to talk more on it, and especially its management.
All right. Thank you so much.
It's still MotherCare. We're going to take a short break. When we come back, it's Doctor on Demand. All your questions and the doctors on call. Stay with us.